What up, y'all? I'm back with another episode of Post Cut Clarity, where I share my unique thoughts and perspectives, leaving the barbershop about our culture, but specifically how it relates to our experiences in the corporate world. I've been worked in talent for over 12 years, whether it was hiring, retaining, or strategy. It's just really giving me this oddly weak, unique perspective. With that being said, let me kick out some clarity. This past week, I was reflecting on Nipsey Hussle's birthday. Rest in peace. While Nipsey Hussle's birthday always has me listening to his music more often, I can't help but to think of the imagery of how he passed. For me, it's still so clear. I vividly remember how difficult hearing the news of his death was on that Sunday and then having to go into work the following day. The same feeling occurs whenever we lose a prominent figure in the community, whether it's through violence or any other reason. Pain is actually still felt. This feeling can also be applied to so many of the deaths that actually get national attention. For example, Mike Brown, Sandra Glenn, and of lately, Sonia Massey. This feeling can also occur when we lose prominent figures in our community when it comes to nonviolent sort of acts, like Chadwick Boseman or Kobe Bryant. But some of the hardest days I've ever had at work were having to come into the office. So today, I'm going to be talking about how I deal and navigate the workspace after these tragedies occur. Key takeaway number one, I always lean on self reflection. Acknowledge the fact that you're feeling a certain way and it's just different than normal. It's not normal to see the types of killings that we do for the people that look like us at the rate that we do on national news and scales, and so visually. If anything, social media puts these videos, images, stories in front of our faces more than ever before. Whether if it was Nipsey, Mike Brown, Sandra Glenn, and the latest Sonia Massey, I know personally I've been guilty of normalizing it. The first time a national death felt so relatable to me was in 2014, and that was with Mike Brown. What made it so relatable was Mike Brown looked like me, and it happened that this situation happened in like the backyard of where I went to school for the last 5 years. I remember walking to work Monday morning, the weekend after Mike Brown was killed, and no one said a peep. The only people talking about the horrific weekend were the people that looked like me. It made me feel alone, and also because no one said anything, it made me feel like life goes on and it didn't matter. Even the people who didn't die due to violence, like Chadwick Boseman or Kobe Bryant, I remember when they passed how heavy it was on the black community and how we were grieving. There was also a little bit of this contrast when it came to work. For some people like Kobe Bryant, who was so nationally known and adored, it felt like a community. But others, when it came to like Chadwick Boseman, we really felt truly alone. When Mike Brown died and I came into work on Monday, and even though no one said a word, it actually wasn't anyone's responsibility besides mine to not normalize that situation. It's crazy, 10 years later, these same tragedies are still occurring, but now I take a different approach. My advice, when you self reflect, know that these tragedies are not normal. Even if people that don't look like us make it seem normal, know that it's not normal. Realize that your emotions and your actions might be slightly off because you probably just witnessed a traumatic experience. Understand that certain things will push you to become a little bit more triggering. So just be cautious of your activities over the next few days after a tragedy occurs and try to stay away from the things that normally might trigger you that you can't control. Takeaway number two, find people that you can talk to and express how you're feeling. When we have these traumatic losses, there are typically other people who have seen or actually do feel the same way that we do. And while it can be hard to find people, it can be a therapist, it can be a friend, it can be a family, or it can even be people that you really work with. What's important is that you find the people. You might find though that you spend most of your days working. So talking on the phone or texting your friends while working might not be the best look. My advice, find people that you work with who also connect and relate to how you're feeling when these tragedies occur. One example I have is an employee resource group. Employee resource groups are groups of people that usually relate to you in some sort of manner, but who are actually formalized in a group by the company. That's easy access for you to connect with. Those are great ways for you to tap into people who might be grieving in the same way that you might be when these things occur. Key takeaway number 3, take time away. It wasn't until I was in my 30s when I realized the importance of taking time away and also disconnecting. When things are heavy, it's okay for us to take time away to get ourselves together. I also think it's really mature when we know personally that we need time to disconnect or just allow time for us to heal from something so heavy, especially when tragedies happen. When we take time away, it allows our body to regroup and also reset. My advice is take time to yourself. And when you do, don't feel bad for it either. Because when you take that time for yourself, you know that when you come back to your normal day routine, you're actually going to show up better and be a better version of yourself than you would have if. Again, these tragedies happen and they're horrible. There are so many ways for us to deal with it. For me, the 3 ways I do: first, self reflect, acknowledge how you feel, don't normalize these tragedies. 2, find a community. Speak with people who can really support you and understand how you're feeling. And number 3, step away. And when you do, step away guilty free because you're knowing that you're doing it for yourself and that you're going to show up better for the future. Again, I'm trying to give y'all this game for free 99. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.